We go for a walk and say hi to some old friends. It's been a while. Northern bedstraw. Quite a cool breeze coming off the creek. Big temperature shift here. Warm patches. It's quite the drop down there. You can see the creek. Still want to stay off the creek. Someone's been working at this tree. We go down to the creek? Maybe after. Some rose hips. Some of them are still in pretty good shape. None of these are rotten. So that's nice. You could still pick those and make something with them. Some more in here. They look pretty good too. Nibbling on the rose hips while I'm walking. I was feeling a little bit of a scratchy throat this morning, so I want to make sure to get vitamin C, and that's a nice thing about the winter time when we need that immune support the most. We have things like rose hips still available, as well as conifers. Spruce trees, you can make some tea with their needles and get some vitamin C. We have some usnea lichen. That stuff's still on the tree, so I would leave it alone, but there's plenty of it around here that if a high wind comes up, it knocks it off the trees. And you can find it on the ground all over the place. This has been run over by a bike though, so it can stay where it is, but it's easy enough to have a look around and find some that has fallen off a tree, sometimes some pretty good clumps of it, but it's easier to see that after you've had a really good wind. Little squirrel homes in here. Someone's been snacking and making all sorts of little hidey holes. Surprised I don't hear them chattering. Maybe they went a little farther from home today because it's so nice out. Another little pocket of cold air came through. We got some nice sized hoof prints in here. I know last year when I was coming through here in the springtime for poplar buds, there was lots of moose sign here. And where the spot where I went to find the poplar buds and stinging nettle, that's a decent trail here. Yeah, the spot where I went to find that stuff, there was very fresh moose sign and beds, so I kind of had a little more reservations about the time I was spending down there, because it's sort of a little just down by the creek. And, you know, don't want to surprise those guys. I had one almost step on me one time when I was laying against a tree by a watering hole. Didn't realize what a vulnerable space I was in there. The person I was with saw as well, and then we slowly got up and walked away when the moose was having a drink. All sorts of tracks through here. I don't know, I've never been successful at shed hunting, and so sometimes I think I should just follow a trail. I know it's not like there's a fence line or anything here that they're jumping over to knock their sheds off, but it's worth a wander through in a different spot, because at least I have footprints to wander back on. If I was just following this crazy trail in the springtime, I might have a difficult time finding my way back to where I was. Especially when the sun isn't around. I know that's south. This time of year the sun's pretty low on the horizon. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon right now, so there's not going to be much sun left. Last summer when I wandered this way, I found a nice log covered in oyster mushrooms, and they were just fresh young ones in perfect condition and not buggy at all, because they were young. And that was really nice. Really nice to be able to grab those, but because it was a random spot that I walked through, I wouldn't be finding them again in the same place. Not likely anyways. Are you taking us, Shadow? Anything interesting this way? Oh, not too much going on here, just a lot of the same old stuff. Spruce and poplar forest here. It's getting grassy. I think the fence line is just ahead, so I'll wander our way back to the other trail by the creek. There's a lot more of the usnea lichen. All these dead branches are covered in it. It's hard to see in this lighting. This stuff is good for the immune system. I make a tincture out of it, and basically just means soak it in alcohol, or you can do a dual extraction where you soak it in alcohol, strain it, and then soak the rest that you strain out into hot water and then let it steep, and then you mix the two together and you have a dual extraction. But I just use the regular tincture for if I'm feeling a little under the weather, then I take it. I like putting it in a spray bottle. I use it as a throat spray if, like, I was traveling at Christmas time and spending time in airplanes, and I was spraying that in my throat and kind of making sure to get it in my nasal area, just to use like a disinfectant and a preventative to avoid any infections from invading me. But yeah, there's so much usnea in here that it'll definitely fall off in this area in a windstorm or even just a light wind. So there's some right here. You just collect that and put it in a bag. And there's some more here. These are just small clumps. Often you can find much bigger clumps than that. If it's damp, that's okay too. Just let it dry. Just don't stuff it in a baggie and let it rot if it's damp. There's some more northern bedstraw. That stuff's good in the springtime. It's really good tonic for sort of cleansing lymph. Get all your stagnation flowing out of your body. I love springtime and spring greens for that. I did a winter plant walk a little less than a year ago. We kind of got through some really cold spells here, and it just felt like time to get out and move, but still like this where there's only so much you can forage for, but it's also a great way to see what's around and what's available. Like, you can tell if you get to know plants in various growth stages and what they look like when they're sleeping for winter. I know that this is northern bedstraw. They have these little sort of nutlets. Those, if you were really ambitious, you could make something like coffee with them. It is related to coffee. But it's the greens that I like for what I was talking about. Just that lymphatic flow and cleansing. It's related to cleavers, and I much prefer the flavor of northern bedstraw than I do for cleavers. Cleavers is a very beautiful plant, but the flavor is way too chlorophyll for me. This is also a really good one to know. And if you get to know yarrow, you know the smell. It's very aromatic herb, and it's bitter, and it's good for wounds. make a styptic from it to stop bleeding. But I recognized the leaves from it. They're kind of feathery. The Latin name, Achillea millefolium, millifolia meaning 1,000 leaves. And that's why they're just all these super tiny feathery leaves. That's a really great plant to get to know too. And to know you have it in the area because it is a first aid plant. I've used it to stop bleeding and help disinfect wounds when I'm out camping. For myself and for my dog. My previous dog was a big rambunctious guy, and he ended up with a pretty bad wound when we were camping one time, and I was able to just use herbs that I found combined with coconut oil and made a little quick salve to put on and kind of hold the wound, clean, sort of disinfect it or keep it from getting infected. And it ended up working out beautifully. When we got home at the end of the weekend, it was already healing up nicely and didn't have to take him to the vet or anything. And we all know how much we don't want to take our animals to the vet if we don't have to. That's where getting to learn some of these plants can be so rewarding. If you can heal your pet or your loved ones or yourself when you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's a great skill. Shadow, come. Shadow, come. Sit. Good girl. Stay. Stay. Hey. Stay behind me. She is not a bird dog. She is a terrier. Hey, Shadow. Hey, Shadow. Hey, sit. Stay. Stay. I heard something and then I paused. And then a grouse flew across on the other side of that tree line and landed over here somewhere. I think that must have been a different one. Hey, Shadow! Hey, leave it. Leave it. Shadow, come. Hey, come. You don't know what you're doing. Leave it. She's so curious, though. It's hard to say. That creek looks frozen, and I don't hear any water, but it could be soft still. Wouldn't know till you're down there, and Shadow doesn't know about the dangers. Hey, Shadow. Back. Back. Leave it. I think there's still one over here, though. I don't think it crossed the path. not hunting, but gotta practice these skills. Spotting them, finding them, learning their habits. This is somebody's property though, so I'm gonna get myself back on the creek trail. Oh, there's a fence here. Didn't notice that. And that snow was a little deeper there. I didn't rest for that. One of my neighbors comes out here. He has permission to maintain these trails, and he comes out here on his fat bike. And it kind of makes me want to get a fat bike because I see all the exploring he does when I'm down by the creek in various areas. I see his trails around the creek and on the creek, and in the winter time being able to ride on the creek gives you access to way more places that you would normally have to go through private property to get to. But I also enjoy the walk because then I get to stop and look at things like that catch my eye. Spruce pitch. That's another good one to have in your medicinal toolbox. It's another first aid medicine. It is excellent for anything to do with skin, pretty much, like disinfecting and healing. If you can make a salve out of it, you can use it on wounds and it'll help disinfect and close it up. You gotta be careful with that though. With some plants, they'll close up your wounds. They're so good at healing that they'll close your wounds before you get a chance to get any of the, well, your body needs to be able to push any foreign matter out so it doesn't get infected. And some plants are so efficient at closing the wound that they'll do that while there's stuff still in there, and that is never good because then you have an infection underneath the skin and it's closed. It doesn't have a place to escape. So be careful with that. But making a spruce pitch salve is on my list of things that I would like to do. I just haven't found an area that has a lot of spruce to do. I call it bleeding because it comes out of where it has a wound. If a branch got snapped off, or if something cut into it, that's where it's basically like it's healing itself. So it'll cover its wound with that and drip out. And the areas that I go to don't seem to have that many wounds. This is witch's butter. That just caught my eye. Try and focus on it a little better. This little jelly fungi is edible. And there's a little bit of medicine in it. It's so little and cute though. If you can find bigger pieces of it, then yeah, I'd chew on it. It's one of the few mushrooms out here that you can just eat raw. Most of the mushrooms, you have to cook them, or else they're toxic to your body if you don't cook them properly. So it's kind of deceiving. Like, we can buy mushrooms from the grocery store and people will often eat them raw, like in a veggie platter, but your body doesn't know what to do with that, and it also leads people to believe that it's normal to eat mushrooms raw, but don't do that. Cook them. Cook them to make them so that they're not toxic to your body, and also to make the excellent nutrients bioavailable to your body. Otherwise, they're just going right through and might be wreaking havoc along the way. And we are going down this hill, and it is definitely dropping degrees. I'm gonna have to keep Shadow away from the water, because I don't know what that ice looks like. There. Okay, I feel better with Shadow on a leash going down here, because she doesn't quite know any better, and after a long winter we haven't exactly been practicing her recall, so knowing when there's a danger can be, yeah, she's not used to me yelling at her to tell her to get away from something. But this is, you can see water is on top of the ice here. I really am not versed in my ice safety, so I avoid it because this is one big hazard here at this time of year. It's beautiful though. I can hear a little bit of water trickling. What a beautiful spot. So nice to be able to walk to this. Just have some quiet time. Get out in nature. Oh, we'll want her back up. Alright, we're back to the start. Almost the start. But better go see what's going on down here. Someone had a sled. Someone was pulling a sled down here. Or sliding down. I don't know. There's some really little hoofs here. Some cuties. Saw some cuties here last year going down the river actually. Something, maybe a lynx, was going after one of them, and the mama was not happy. So Yeah, there was a bit of drama on the creek, and I was up on the other side somewhere. I rode my bike in. Oh, hello, squirrel. Where are you? Oh, going up there. It's pretty backlit here. Is that you? No. Oh, man. No, can't see. There's a squirrel in the tree hanging out, but I had to come over here and say hello to this Fomatopsis. What a beauty. I hope I can keep saying hello to this one. It's looking kind of rough, but it's one of those ones that it's right close to the trail and somebody might knock it off just for fun. But it's always nice to see it again. So over here, last year, this big spruce tree was overturned after a windstorm. And it's my bit of a stinging nettle patch in here. So I like to kind of wander in this way and check on the stinging nettle. But I mean, obviously, stinging nettle's going to be sleeping right now. There's some horsetail skeletons in here. And some more uva ursi. But over by this tree, it had pulled up all this dirt, so I don't know, I'm getting snow in my boots. But it pulled up a bunch of dirt, and I transplanted a few stinging nettle plants from over in this area and put them in that bare dirt area, and then I also collected some seeds from the plants and sprinkled them around there, hoping that maybe a bit more nettles will take in that patch, because in my world you can't have too much stinging nettle. But this is also where I saw the moose sign and bedding last year. So we're mindful of that around here. Shadow, come. There was a sound up there. But the creek, if you go between those two stumps and down, the creek's that way. So we're just gonna not go there because I don't feel like tying her up again and avoiding the creek again. Oh, here's a nice piece. Oh, so she's on guard. I am armed with bear spray and a knife. That's what I have with me, and a cell phone. So, and a dog. This is what I have today. We are pretty much right in this little town, village, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, it's a hidden gem, so I'm not going to say exactly where it is, because I love it here as is. But you can contact me and ask. Maybe I'll wander with you down here to this lovely spot. Well, she says the coast is clear. Hey, Shadow? Coast is clear. it's a beautiful sunset over there. The Rockies to the west. I don't have a great view from my home, so it's not really much better than this. What does she see? Stay. Stay. Oh, I see a deer. There's a deer way in there. Shadow, leave it. Hey, Shadow, leave it. I'm just gonna tie her up when I find my leash. It's in my pocket. In my pocket. Hey, it's okay. It's a deer. It's okay. Is it fine now? Is it fine now? It's a deer. Yeah. Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? Can we go now? Yeah. No, you stay here. Pick up my uva ursi. Oh, look at this. I realized I was just saying uva ursi. It's usnea. The lichen is usnea, but this is uva ursi, also known as bearberry or kinnick. And I will be harvesting some of that. See, the stuff has got some frostbite, but it's evergreen. If you find that, you can likely find some good stuff under the snow. It makes a really nice tea, and it's medicinal. It's a good urinary tonic and disinfectant, and strengthening. And hey, and I am not a herbalist. I pick up information along the way. I like to learn about the plants that are close to me and in this area that I call home. And I just like to share what I've learned. But I am not a herbalist. Well, we've decided it's safe, so we're going to continue on and head out of here. So thank you for joining Shadow and I on our little journey through the woods. Hey, Shadow?